Здравейте, драги зрители на Esports Bulgaria, аз съм Теодор Борисов и в момента се намираме в Интер Експо център в София, където се провежда ежегодното издание на Aniventure Comic Con. Причината да бъдем тук е една много специална такава. Вие знаете, че в канала на Esports Bulgaria в YouTube имаме интервюта с някои от най-големите легенди в професионалния Counter-Strike. Говорили сме с хора като Паша Байсепс, Кени С, но много от тях, макар и да бъдат толкова успешни и да имат постиженията, с които разполагат, нямат постиженията на нашия специален гост в днешния ден. Това ще бъде още едно интервю на английски език, което обаче, разбира се, съм сигурен, че всеки един от вас ще оцени и на което всеки един от вас ще се наслади. Имам огромното удоволствие до себе си да приветствам не кой да е, но човекът, чието име се превърна в нарицателно за успех, усърдна работа и най-вече легенда. Еднократен мейджор шампион, част от легендарният състав на NIP, който спечели 87 поредни карти на One през 2012-2013 година. Играчът, който беше първият цар на CSGO, човекът, който беше номер 1 в класацията топ 20 на HLTV за 2012 година и 2013 година. Става въпрос, разбира се, за Get Right. Chris, thank you very much for joining me for this conversation. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here in Sofia, in Bulgaria, in person. We're going to start it off nice and light. How have you liked Sofia and Bulgaria so far? How have you liked the event? How have you liked the people?
I am pleasantly surprised. Not that I have any negative thoughts before it, but of so much I've traveled around the whole world and meeting people, culture and events and so on. And every convention is different, and every convention, in my opinion, is different, even if it has similar names and all of those things. But it's been a pleasure and really like one of those trips that I wasn't expecting. It's been a really, really good time, and I have nothing like, oh, it could have been this, it could have been like that, or anything like this. I'm like positive. I'm like, I want to come back. That's what I feel like instantly. There's not even like, it could be better maybe in the future or something. It's like literally, I want to come back, and it's not often, in my opinion, that happens for me. So I'm like, I'm super thankful for coming here, and just thanks to Monster for sending me out here.
It is absolutely great to have you here. And I was wondering, because before we get into your career and obviously everything that you've been through, you are someone that's traveled a lot over the course of the, well, I was going to say last couple of years, the last 15 years basically. But the last couple of months, you haven't been traveling too much, right? No. You stepped down from professional Counter-Strike in 2021 after Dignitas, and the last couple of years have been a little bit more relaxed, it feels like, from an outside point of view. So for the people that have not followed you closely, can we just give them a bit of an update on what has Get Right been up to in the last couple of years? What is on your agenda right now? What is your life looking like?
My life didn't slow down with traveling when I was done playing. Since everything, I mean, 2021 still COVID to some degree, so of course it was a little bit slow in the beginning. But I did kind of almost travel as much eventually like I were doing as a professional. I attended events, majors, I did PR, I went to other conventions, I did a lot of things if you ask me, and I sometimes, like, I even remember I had like 4 trips back to back to back, so I even traveled to different continents to some degree. And the problem was with that, I would say, it's like, it's good, but also bad thing was like I had like 3 days here, 2 days there, 4 days here again, and then like 5 days here or something. So it's like, you know, I travel and then I eventually come back. So it's like, it literally feels like you're on an airport more than actually you're spending your time in the country itself or learning things and so on, because that is something that's grown in me, that I want to understand more of this world and also humans and religions and cultures and all of those things. It's always been something interesting to me, but it's grown more and more, especially when COVID happened. But other than that, you know, full-time streaming, balancing that out, also having a real life. Recent time, I moved to another major city in Sweden. I have basically done 180 of my whole life and been like taking care of myself, and love spending the time with my girlfriend, who's the best fucking person I ever met in my whole life, of how she has helped me because of my career and my traveling and what I did the last couple of years. Because it's been a wonderful career and interesting period of my life, and it's not something I go back and look at now with even more confidence, saying I'm proud of myself. And she is the sole reason of me seeing in different eyes that I didn't do before. And friends and family have kind of said something and have done probably something like this, but she is the sole reason that has changed to a more positive things and also opening up things that I wouldn't expect of myself.
Before we talk about the start of your career and everything, I want to touch upon what you were speaking about right now. The life of a professional player and the life of someone that has spent their entire time and traveled so much around the world in this industry is and can become a very stressful one, right? And there could be a lot of things that are difficult to deal with. So how important is the presence of someone like your partner in that case for players, for people in general working in this industry, and especially for competitors, for their mental well-being to be conceived? How were you taking care of that as you were playing, and is there something that you wish you knew a little bit earlier in your career that you know now?
I mean, first and foremost, pretty straightforward, easy answer in my head, at least right now, is having a person like her. Even if it's in a relationship or a friend or whatever, it's like this, but I'm very fortunate we're in a relationship, is that she, generally is the person that I didn't know that I needed that much.
And do you think most competitors and players need a person like this or people like that around them?
It's very important to have your sort of safety net in it, because you live in a kind of interesting bubble, because you are a competitor and you're also playing to keep your spot. You are also in with other 4 people, 5, 6, depending on the team is built up, organization, partners, like the sponsors and so on, like this. And you have to also compete and also perform. And it's a hard thing to balance that out, also having a person on the side with it. But if that person understands you and gives you the place and the energy level or whatever you can to be yourself for the time being, then you're going back on the road again, I think that could potentially help / save a person, instead of being like, they do it for years in and out, and then all of a sudden when it's done and they're not good enough anymore, or whatever it could be like a slap in your face, because you have done it for so long and you don't know anything else from that. So I think it's very, very important to have someone, at least a special one, that is like, get you to remember and knowing what's important in life and so on, like this, because you live in this bubble, and this bubble is very special because you compete all the time and you hang out with other players and teams and so on, like this, and you're like traveling and all of those things, and you experience things together and so on. And that bubble it's just special. It's like I can't even like put a word to it or an explanation to it. It's like you have to experience it to understand it. And that's not just the players and competitors. Also, it's a lot of people around the industry. And I think now, for someone that's stepped out of it more and focusing on myself, if I had someone like her that I'm talking about, I think I could potentially have a little bit longer career, not much, but also I could have potentially be in a better headspace.
Okay. In terms of the, I guess, career longevity and the accomplishments, you are someone that has accomplished a lot. So I'd say let's talk a little bit about that, because there is a lot to unpack here, and we're not going to have the time for all of it. But you started playing professional Counter-Strike in 2007. In 1.6, and you played 1.6 for 5 years. You went through SK, NIP, a couple of other teams, and then CSGO came around, and at the start of CSGO, you were the best player in the world for 2 years. So now that you're looking at the early days of professional Counter-Strike, when you were part of it, in the modern days of Pro CS, what would be, let's say, the main differences that you can identify from the get-go, things that you think you might have done better or might have been better back then, or things that you think are better now, in a couple of sentences?
I mean, easiest answer was rock and roll.
Okay.
As in, like, a lot of things were not professional, a lot of things were different, and you were getting by, basically. There's a better structure and better understanding of a professional player and what the needs and necessaries to be done, because CS has been existing for so long. So you understand like what is needed and necessary for it to grow and get better. And comparing it of the times that with CSGO specifically, seeing how everything became so much bigger. because 1.6 has a very special place in my heart and what I experienced, and it was big in my world. But I dreamt when I was a kid it would be even bigger. Not like gaming itself. Gaming was a big part of my life when I was a kid, but maybe sports and so on. But taken to next level and so on like this. So I already had that dream, and understanding and so on. And I'm just so thankful that I got to enjoy the journey of it. But it has not been walk in the park. Everything is on the golden plates and whatever you can say as a saying. Yeah. But it's been really fun, but also in a way where it's like you're happy that things have gotten even better than it was before.
What is the advice you would give to the younger generation of players? Because I imagine there's going to be a lot of people watching this that are in their teenage years, maybe early teenage years, that are thinking about pursuing a career in esports. Might be Counter-Strike, might be another game. What is in your opinion, the most important thing for them to keep in mind in terms of balancing their life out, and then in terms of achieving success? Because we had that conversation earlier, me and you off camera. You are a very hard-working person, and while you were a player, you were taking yourself to the limit, right? And you were going beyond that. So you were taking it very extreme. So would you say that is a necessity for someone to be successful, or is dedication but with some measure enough?
I mean, everyone has their own will and saying, right? So if they think that is the correct way, that's their opinion. But I would not say for someone who has experience and did that, it was worth it to some degree, but not worth it overall. If we would say 0 to 100%, if you can say on a scale like that, I would say 80%, 85, 90% not worth it. Because of so many things I missed and so many things I wish that I was part of, or understanding of life, etc. like this. So finding balance to it, but a balance could also mean completely different to someone else. Okay. There could be someone like who sits and plays Face It 6 hours per day, and then also practicing and so on, and traveling and so on like this, and then have like a day off once a week or 2 days off a week. Still a lot what you put in, right? But finding a middle ground that works for you, I think is the most important thing. And figuring that out, I'm putting a little on the plate of like, you're picking and choosing. But if they saw me as an example and so like this, very thankful first and foremost. But I don't agree now when I'm older what I did and what I took to take this direction, journey, walk, or whatever you want to call it, because I had to help myself out later on. And also accept help. Sure.
In terms of, because I want us to take a bit of a positive note here. There is one person that is very special in your career, and you've received multiple questions that are whether, talk to me a bit about Forrest and your relationship with him and how he's helped you and why he's one of your favorite people. And what is your what is your happiest and most, I guess, recognizable and memorable moment out of your professional career? So we're going to combine these two questions. And I will ask you, because Forrest is someone that you've played with for your entire life, and he's really impacted your career in a very positive way. These are your words. What is your favorite moment with him alongside Forrest? Because you two, for the most part of your career, if not for the entirety of your career, were like brothers, both on the server and outside of it, right?
Yeah, but this actually has never spoken. I never spoke about it. I don't think anyone has mentioned this one. Is when we did the transition from 1.6 to CSGO, and when we made NIP, I already knew I was already in there, and I am basically the person who built the team. So I already convinced Exist on a parking lot to join NIP. We already knew that we had Fifth Line. We didn't know we had Freiberg. It was standing between him and some other players. But I told them already, I have Forrest. Don't worry, we don't need to think about it like this. And they were like, okay, maybe we should speak to him, blah, blah. I call him and ask him if he can go to a place. And it was a lunch, restaurant, whatever it is, in Stockholm. And I refused to tell him what it is. And he's asking me like 4 times on the phone or whatever. This is like a 2 minutes call. And I'm like, just trust me. That's the only thing I said. Just trust me. Come and we gotta discuss this, you know. And that's when we already had built the team, right? So he technically is the 4th member, even though in my head he's the 2nd one because we already played together. And then he come there, I set them down, and I sat down with the other people starting NIP and so on like this, and they explained the vision and whatnot and so on like this. It was not really a convincing, I would say. I don't remember the discussion at all, but I remember like more of this whole thing. I randomly call him. I don't call him often, by the way, and he doesn't call me often either, especially in those times. Not happen either now, but it's more like how I did convince him basically of like, trust this is gonna be bigger and better than before. Because 1.6 was dying out. Mm-hmm. We had salary, but it was not massive. And he was thinking about working, and I think he already did like something. I don't remember that he can answer if he ever hears this. So he wasn't sure, right?
Yeah.
So you're basically asking another human being of like, I have no idea where we're going, but trust me. And I know a lot of people will be like, that's foolish, that's stupid, that is selfish of you even putting another person in basically your hand and like doing like this. But I'm forever thankful that he actually kind of trusted me into it. And I'm pretty sure he also, maybe he doesn't remember this, or now if he, like I said, if he heard this again, he probably is like, oh shit, now I remember it. That he probably think it was like one of the best decisions he did, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think it was the best decision of not telling him. Because I wanted to put him in front of me and making him understand the vision and understanding what we're trying to do and so like this. And this is very early. This is even before Cisco is officially in beta. Or it was kind of in beta. No, it was beta. And he was playing a little bit, but it was not officially a date yet to come out and so on. So this is very early. This is even earlier that we didn't even know that NFP is going to come back.
Okay.
So we didn't even know the team name at this time and so on. And that's like one of the memories of him, because I also never told this one, which makes it more fun in a way, at least in my head.
Okay.
But then it's also, of course, like, you know, sitting down and sharing a beer after a major loss or a loss in the tournament or winning and sharing and all of those things. When I just sit down next to him and like shares with him, we don't say too much, but we maybe exchange some words there, and then like outside life from the game and like getting understanding of him, like announcing that he's gonna have a kid to the team and to me and so on, and him getting married and proposing and so on. Like it's been a wonderful journey that I personally share the rest of my life with him. Of course, most of the personal stuff is outside of it because we're not that close as many people think, but we're close enough that I still see him as a very, very, very close friend of mine.
That is beautiful. Because we don't have a lot of time left.
Sadly, no.
Believe me and you can sit here and talk for hours if it was up to me.
Yes.
We're going to do just a couple of quick fire questions.
All right.
First one, who is the greatest Swedish player of all time? Forrest, you said? Without thinking about it, no hesitation.
Forrest.
Okay, who is the greatest pure talent?
Forrest.
Okay, we're gonna shift the direction a little bit. What was your favorite event to play?
DreamHack Masters Malmö 2016.
Okay. Who is the best Bulgarian player you've ever played against?
Cirque.
Why? 3 words.
Annoying little guy.
Perfect. Thank you very much. One last thing that I'm going to ask you about. Could you give whatever type of a message, whatever your heart feels like? It could be drink more water, it could be follow your dreams, it could be work as hard as you want to the people watching this right now and supporting you.
Trust your gut feeling. The gut feeling is always the correct choice. Simple as that.
Thank you very much. It was an absolute honor and an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Likewise, Ted.
Драги зрители, благодарим ви изключително много, че гледахте. Това беше Get Right, една от най-големите легенди в историята на професионалния Counter-Strike, който, както чухте, ни напомни, че под светлините и прожекторите и голямата сцена се крие много повече за професионалните Counter-Strike играчи. Благодарим ви много, че бяхте с нас по време на този разговор. Абонирайте се за канала на Esports Bulgaria в YouTube, харесайте видеото, оставете ни един коментар с любимият си момент или хайлайт от кариерата на Get Right и ще се видим отново много, много скоро. Чао, чао!